Is that better now? Can you hear me? I suppose you can hear me because it says here in the microphone here, but um, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna first of all head in here and install Laravel. I thought the sound was on, so just gonna quickly go through it again. And you can download Postman here, which allows us to test the API. We are in this turn not gonna connect it to any front end, like for example React or something like that. In this tutorial, we're basically just gonna go through and we're gonna just test the API. So we're gonna do API testing, and we're gonna get a feeling of this. We start out slowly by doing it easy and do very simple code, and then we're gonna build it up to be a bit more advanced. So to begin with, now we already have set the application up. Let's set up the database here, and let's go in and create database. Put SQLite, and then in order for this to work, we need to serve this application, and also we need to go in here in the environment file here, and we can just go up here and put SQLite as database. And then one last thing is we're gonna do PHP artisan optimize, because we just changed the env file, so we need to optimize in order for it to load it since it's running already. And then we're gonna say PHP artisan migrate. And this one we can just ignore because we don't actually have to use this. So first of all, let's get rid of everything except for these two up here. So what we want to do here is we want to first just get some information, and anything in the API routes are going to be prefixed under here. So we have your name.com/API/ whatever you type in here. So this is basically everything is going to be API, and then the URL will show up. So we can go in and say, for example, slash get bars. Let's just say that. And then we can go in and create a function here. And here we want to return response with some JSON. Excuse me. So in here we can put in just some very simple data and just see that it's working. So we can say hello world, and just copy this here, and then inside Postman, again, it's fairly simple to install. Just click download and set it up. You need to create a user. You can just go in here and basically, and then say get bars, and then it will just say hello world. So this is data that you would be able to call in the front-end application, and then retrieve that data and display it for the user. So that's point of APIs, is basically to retrieve the data and visualize it for the user. So it, for example, Facebook, I'm pretty sure would use an API, so you would have some long list of APIs that you can go through, and then you can retrieve that data from Facebook and basically use it like that. We can even go more advanced. You know, JSON is pretty simple. Most of you probably already know it, but we can go in here and then we just basically create an array here, and it gets turned into JSON. And then that way we can have chocolate, and then we can have that, and then we can have strawberry, tasty, and you get the point. So basically we just get these arrays converted inside here to objects that you didn't retrieve in a JavaScript application, as one example. So yes, that's actually just the way to go from there. So this is the very simple way to do it, but we can get way more advanced. So instead, let's go in here and let's go in and actually create a controller. And then let's call this food controller. So we want to store some food item. And then we want to make them. Okay, so this is. This is interesting. This shouldn't happen with Laravel. So we can just instead go in and say food controller. And well, what we can try to do here is we can just try to rerun the serve. Oh yeah, the reason why the 0 comes is because we don't have any data put in here. So if you actually go in and delete this and then put in the data first, that will make it a bit easier. So if you say food controller add get bars. Alright, so now it should work perfectly fine. Then we also want to go in and create a model with a migration. And we literally just want to put in a few things here in the array. So what we want to put in is table. Then we'll put in a string of item. Then we want to have a string of description. And then we also want to have a string of stars, which should just be an integer. And again, let me know if there's any questions. So what we can do here is we can say PHP artisan and want to migrate again. And what we will do now is we will go in here and we want to create a couple of functions. So we want to create public function get bars, and we want to have one called and then we want to have one called where we just get one particular bar. This one should retrieve with an ID, and in here we should have a request. And then we want to have one called update bars, update bar actually just. And then we want to just go in request and put in request. Alright, so what we want to do here is we want to first of all go in and put in a validator. So the validator will basically go in and validate the request here. And in this request we want to validate a couple of things. So first of all we want to validate the item. This needs to be required. It needs to be a minimum of 3. Then we want to have the description, which also needs to be required and have a minimum of 20. And then we also want to have stars, and we want to have that as required, and we want to have that as an integer. Alright, so by doing this, we can now go in and actually validate this. Alright, so this is if there's an error. So we want to have, one thing I like to have is I like to have some structure. So let's go in and basically put in data. So all of them are going to be underneath data, and then we're going to have error, and error is going to be validator. And then we want to in here, after that we want to store this in the database, but first of all we want to go in and test if the validator works. So, and we also want it in the API, so we want to say store bars, or store bar actually, because we're only storing one, just for the sake of grammar. So we want to do one route post, and I like to structure it all like this. So in a small application you can say post methods and get methods. Alright, and then we can say store bar, and then we can say food controller, and now we should be able to validate it. So first of all we can go in here and just say store bar, and you'll notice there will come an error because we are using it as a get method. So you need to go up here and change this to a post method. And also you just need to see why it goes like that. Should actually return something else. It shouldn't return like that, so that's a bit strange behavior from Laravel. Sometimes we need to optimize the routes, because sometimes it doesn't load in all the new routes. So alright, so this seems to be a problem with the route in here, so let me look here. I'll just go in and just see why this problem is occurring. So if we go in and just put in here, see what it says. There seems to be an issue with this one. Maybe not, so I'm not sure why this error happens, because this is can this be because of, I don't think so, but no. So this is a bit strange behavior from Laravel. What I would like to try to do here is I would like to basically remove the vendor folder and then basically just say compose and install, and then one PHP item optimize. This is again unexpected behavior, so I'll just need to go in and see here. Actually don't need this, maybe this is one. Okay, so it's apparently in here there's an error, but that doesn't really matter to us in this case. So what all we care about is the API routes in this tutorial. So inside the food controller now, let's go in and test it. Oh, we need to run it, of course, so just one PHP artisan. This should be working because we just had it working literally just before. So okay, so well, what we can try to do here is we can first of all go in first of all we can just say could not validate your data, and try to see if that works. No. So this is again pretty strange. I'm actually not used to having it like this, so if you just go and test in the browser, it does say it exists. So my guess is something with Postman in this case. So if we just close this, create a new one, put it in as a post request. Okay, still won't work. What if you put in item? Okay, so this is maybe if we quit Postman and then open it. Yeah, I think that could be the issue. Let me just check. So basically when you use Postman, it should be alright just to send through the data. But actually no, that's right, we need to install Laravel disable course. That's correct, yeah. So the thing is, when we do this, we need to disable course, and what we can do is we can require spectator Laravel course. This is unnecessary if you're using Laravel application, where you use basically have the front-end application on inside the Laravel, but if you have a separate, you need to use this, or if you're using Postman or something like this. So this is something we need to do here. Usually, because inside Laravel here, inside the resources, the JavaScript here, inside Axios you have this installed. Okay, so this might actually not, I'm not sure if this is working with Laravel 7. So that's a good question. Okay, so what it does is give us the errors here. Okay, so this is something to do with so if we just put Laravel framework currently like this, so it won't install any newer versions. It might actually work. So what if we try to basically put like here. This is the thing about new versions, not all of them updates to it. So if we say 1.6.0 and then say remove the composer vendor file here and then say composer install. Then also in here we want to just remove the serve while this is going on. And this is also something that can happen. Okay, now it should be working. So what we want to do now is we want to put this inside the middle wall, inside kernels, which is all the way in here. And then we just want to publish this. So this is not completely compatible with Laravel 7, so it's at your own risk to use this. But this is again only if you're doing the testing. So if you're just using the inbuilt application here, it should be perfectly fine. So what we can do now is we can go in and try to test it. And obviously we also need to run the server, so just going ppis and serve. And then just try again. Okay, this was clearly Postman that encountered an error. I mean, there's a possible scenario that there could be an error with course being basically not working here. But I think this is Postman, so let's just try this. Part of the developing is also basically going, okay, so it's course here. Alright, so what we can try to do here is say composer require to let's just put it in like here. And then just go in and read here if there's any compatibility with. Okay, so still get an error here. These daily code live streams is a bit more difficult when you're not prepared to be able to cut things out and all of that, because coding is a lot of debugging and it is something you encounter in your code, so it's a bit difficult when you're doing it live. Okay, so this is a very okay, so the Laravel 7 implemented course support. So we actually don't need this, okay. So let's see if we can find somewhere where you can just put in. Okay, so this is basically, when is this article from? This is 5 years old. This is not Laravel 7, so okay, so there should be a config file here. Okay. Okay, so let's go in here and see. Okay, so we need to install this one, and inside providers we should add this one. That would be in here, and just inside on the bottom here. And then in here we can go and then see what version can it only install. And then just one composer, install. Hopefully this should be working. Looks like it. Just go in now. So if we go inside kernel and then okay, so 3.93. Sorry for having to do all of this debugging here. I know it takes some of the time, so And then also we need to just put this out here. Okay, so if you say if render composer update and then we go try again. See if it wanna listen now. Again, let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions for what to do on YouTube videos. It would be really nice to know if you have any suggestions for me to do, and I will happily take it in and do it in the next video. Okay, so if we go inside in the vendor here, actually we should just be able to undo here. Or we can just copy and paste it because my computer is a bit messing up right now. Alright, so that was a whole lot of working for one video. That you have some patience to follow with, those that's following with me, because that's turned out to be a bit more work in it than I expected. Okay, so no, this doesn't. This just doesn't seem to work, and It's a bit frustrating because should be some sort of solution for this, but a bit hard to actually find the okay. So this seems to be an issue, I think, more with the header we provided actually. So if we basically just go in and remove this, so we have this installed. And then we can go inside verify CSRF token. Just copy and paste this, and it should actually be working now, hopefully. Okay, so if we just run PHP ISM optimize first, and then PHP ISM serve. Okay, so the fact that we've removed it from here, and we also have to put those 2 stars there, so I'll go inside course. If we move this here, and actually also just do this, and try to see what happens after all this got installed. This will be my last attempt, otherwise I will have to do a follow-up video with a solution for this. But otherwise, if you're going to connect it to a front-end application, it should be pretty straightforward. You can just use Axios and set up the header from there. So okay, so sorry for that, my computer is just acting up pretty slow right now. this looks like something I would have to look at in a separate video. So when you say online database planner, you mean like something like a to-do list, or can you maybe specify that a bit more? Because otherwise, I got an idea of how to do that. We could actually get started on that today. But I suppose that would be a bit removing the structure. So maybe instead I could do an extra live stream tomorrow, and then do a follow up in case there will be any unexpected errors on the way. But that would be instead of Laravel, I would suppose. One thing you could try, again, let me know what you think, but Firebase could also be a pretty good solution. It's basically a real-time database, so what it allows you to do is you can automatically store some data, remove it, edit it, and all of that. That's really easy to set up with, for example, React. I don't know if that sounds like something you would like to try to set up Firebase with React, and then create a database planner, and it's very easy to install. You don't need anything but React or Vue.js or JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript installed. However, I would suggest using React.js or Vue.js for this. Does that sound like something you would like to see, or you want to particularly want me to try to do it with Laravel? Because otherwise we can't set the structure up today. But I was thinking that it might be fun to experiment with Firebase a bit as well, since I want to go through to a broader audience. Let me know your thoughts. Also, Lucas, if you haven't already, you can download Discord and be a member of the server. And to everyone else watching as well, if you want to be a member of the Discord server, you can download it. Additionally, I just want to point out that we could always go in here and use React here, and then we can go in and we can set it up with Firebase. So you can go inside the documentation here, and you can get started with easily install Firebase. You can, for example, use authentication here, so you can log in as a user, and you can have an administration function, all of these things. Let me know if you think that would be something. Alright, so I think that would be all for this video, so I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. I will take it into account. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.